dice in hand. Tim's got puns that fly like confetti. They're your go-to movie band. Video Game Movie Club. Laugh until the credits roll. Joey Alex, Tim will dub. Scenes that make you lose control.
Hello and welcome to Video Game Movie Club, where we discuss movie and film TV adaptations of video games. I'm Tim. It's not getting edited out. I'm Tim at Wembembo on everything, and I'm joined by a whole myriad of people. I'm going to start off with the usual co-host of the Video Game Movie Club, starting with Joey.
Hello.
Hello. And I'm also joined by Alex.
Tim, how does it feel to be the only person without glasses?
Mine are downstairs right now. I think I have my blue light glasses up here somewhere, but I'll be fucked if I can be bothered to reach over my desk and get them.
It'd be really cool if you did the whole episode wearing blue light glasses.
That'd be great. And I'm also joined by the hosts of the Biased Anime Pod. I'm joined by Pete Jacker.
Hello.
Hello. And also Skylar. Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Guys, how are we all doing?
It's a collective. It's a whole game club.
This is everyone.
First time ever. On
the odd American out.
Wheeled them out. Great. Well, we're here to talk about the anime adaptation of the Tekken series, specifically Tekken Bloodline, which is based on Tekken 3. I'm a big old fighting game fan. We have an episode on Tekken 8 coming out, I think, next week. So we thought it'd be fun to get this all together. I'm going to go around the group in the order in which people appear on my screen. It's going to be of no bearing to the audience, but it works for me. And just get general thoughts on the anime before we go into an episode-by-episode basis. I'm going to start off with Pete. Your general thoughts on Tekken Bloodline.
It's all right.
Yeah, it's fine.
I mean, I've got basic thoughts. Is animation, 3D, clearly made just to make it. If you like Tekken, I think you'll enjoy it. If you don't, you can give it a miss.
All right. Good succinct thoughts. Next up is Joey.
I'm glad that Pete and Skylar are here because they are my favourite things about anime, and this got nowhere near the top of that list. So, not for me.
No? All right. Skylar?
Yeah, it was all right. I mean, it's a standard like Netflix kind of anime adaptation of something. I kind of agree with Pete. He said it was made to be made.
Yeah.
Yeah. It certainly was. Certainly was made. We certainly watched it. It was
a product.
It was a show. Yeah, it was fine.
Alex, your thoughts?
For a fighting game anime, I kind of wanted to see more and better fight sections. I feel like the fighting was all a bit sort of but it was fine. Like everyone sort of said, it was made to be made. It's just standard Netflix. Let's pump something out to make money on what's popular at the minute. It was fine.
It was fine.
Now, Tim, now that everyone's shat on this show, how do you feel about it?
I mean, it's fine. It's and I'm not saying that because I'm heavily outnumbered as the only fighting game guy here, but no, what this is it's an adaptation of Tekken 3's story, and fighting games, for the most part, generally speaking, aren't known for their most coherent stories. Tekken is kind of the poster child of batshit crazy lore. Most of the games result in either Kazuya or Heihachi being thrown into a volcano. So, I'm not expecting the most sensical thing here, but as a Tekken fan, it was cool to see the actual moves in the anime, and be like, oh, it's a neat reference. The animators did their homework on this one. That was cool.
I will say I've played a tiny bit of Tekken, and even I could tell who the characters were. And it's nice to be able to go, oh, I know that guy. Oh, I know that guy. And oh, yeah. And the blocking as well, to see the actual blocking animation come up.
Yeah.
That was really cool. That was good. Don't get me, if you like Tekken, this is good.
So there's an episode in particular that's my absolute favorite. I've got the most notes on it. I'm a King main in Tekken.
I knew
King gets a lot of feature in the later half of the season, and they are very faithful to him in the funniest fucking way.
That's one question. King.
Yeah,
That's a person.
yeah. He is a guy who runs a orphanage in Mexico, but the orphanage is also full of Japanese children.
Yeah.
Oh,
Also,
and he has a leopard head,
why
so-
doesn't he have a face?
He does
It's
have a
an
face.
apple-
That's a mask.
No. That is
Is
not
it
a
though?
mask.
It's
That
a
was a
mask.
leopard's head.
But do you know what's really funny is in
It's like the mask blinks. Like I'm confused.
It does, yeah. The mask. It's a mask. But I love that in Tekken 5 through 7, whenever King speaks, because everyone in Tekken speaks their own native language, but King is just speaks Jaguar in the subtitles, and people can just understand him. But no, I thought it was fine. I thought it was really weird that they just like wedged Leroy Smith's story into the episode.
Just check the recording chat real quick. Sorry, that's unhinged. That's
Oh my
unhinged.
God.
Oh, I hate
No.
it so much.
That's
All right,
terrible.
well, I know what the
There's your
thumbnail's going
episode
to be.
thumbnail.
Yeah.
Oh god.
So I thought it was really
Someone
weird
made that.
that they. I thought it was really weird that they just wedged Leroy Smith's story in, considering he was only introduced in Tekken 7. But his story is in line with his connection with the Mishimas. But it was just a bit weird that he was there. Cool. Who's played Tekken?
I've played a bit.
You've played
Yeah,
a
I've
bit.
mashed some buttons before. I don't know if that's
Joey,
playing
you've
it
never
though.
played.
I can't remember which one it was, but it was like it had a secondary story where you played the devil creature and you ran around an office to level him up. I don't know which one Tekken that was. but
Probably is Tekken 4. They started getting really weird from Tekken 4 onwards.
It was really weird.
Can I just say that, Tim, you said in your thing that it was a nonsensical story like fighting games are. I didn't think this was that nonsensical. I actually thought this story was the same as every Disney animation. Parent gets killed. Main character spends time overcoming what will eventually be the final fight to avenge their parents.
Jin Kazama is the next Disney princess.
But that is what, like Finding Nemo. Parent gets killed.
Yeah.
Child grows up to overcome the fear that got his brother killed in the first place.
One who
Right,
helps
it's a
and
Disney
turns out to
film.
be evil.
Yeah, Frozen, Moana.
I mean-
Series of several training montages.
Yeah.
Me and Sky, Tim, it got to the point, I'm not going to lie, where we were actually saying phrases like before they were said. Like we actually did the dialogue before the dialogue happened, and we both looked at each other like, "Holy shit, we can actually predict the story. It's this easy." Like,
Oh yeah.
like
I was like, the mom's not gonna. That she's not gonna.
yeah,
live
mom's
past the
dead.
first
Mom's dead.
episode.
Mom's dead. Like as soon as you saw her, she went, she's dead. That's a dead mom haircut.
Jun
You see that
Kazama
haircut,
is
you're
killed.
dead.
That's a
But like we
dead
saw
mum
her,
hair.
like I think
That's
Sky
the
was like in
point of the
episode
poster.
6. What she said? Oh, that's not its final form. But we're like, oh, for fuck's sake!
Oh, well, let's go through episode by episode. There's only 6 episodes in this whole thing, and that's one thing that I will really give this anime credit for. It is a short series at 150 minutes total across 6 episodes.
Yeah, we will be billing you for this time.
It's fine to make it work. So, episode 1, I've just given kind of footnotes here on the episode just to kind of bring us all up to speed. The episode opens by Jin Kazama as a teenager getting the shit kicked out of him, and then his mother, Jun Kazama, steps in to stop the fight. There's then a training montage, and Jun beats up a guy's drunk dad. Ogre, the big evil paranormal bad of the whole series, comes along and just ruins their house and stomps Jun into the ground and sets the forest on fire. Jin then goes off to find his grandfather, Heihachi Mishima.
Standard intro to an anime.
Yeah.
I'd
Yes.
like to know why Jun Kazama, who is meant to be Jin's mother, looks maybe a couple of years older.
Anime.
I mean, yeah, but it's just.
Yeah.
I was there thinking because obviously she turns up to break up the fight with the bullies, and I thought it was his sister stepping in.
No.
It's the
No,
hot mom.
Just the mom. Just the hot mom
Hot
who
mom,
ends up
it's
getting
hot.
killed in a forest fire. Episode 2.
Oh, it's a house fire.
No, I want to stay on
Well
episode
done,
1 for a
sir.
moment.
You want to say in episode 1?
I've got some quotes here.
Oh, okay.
You lost the battle against your anger. God, the cringe. I swear to God.
Yeah, oh yeah, angsty as hell.
They're fighting you and picking on you because they know you're destined for better things. Like,
No,
That's-
they're
that's
picking
what
on him
bullies
because
do.
the bell ends.
Yeah, Jun's
They're trying
dialogue
so
is
hard.
very cliche.
they're trying so hard.
Yeah. Episode 2, if we're all good to move on. Training montages begin as Heihachi teaches Jin Mishima, he teaches him Mishima-style karate as opposed to the Kazama-style karate that he's been learning all his life. It's then revealed that a bunch of big fighters from previous Iron Fist tournaments, that's what Tekken is, the King of Iron Fist tournament, previous fighters are missing just around the world. They've gone AWOL. The Devil Gene is teased, which is essentially something that Heihachi has been looking into as a part of the Mishima bloodline. We come back to that a lot later. And it's detailed that Ogre, the thing that killed Jun in the first episode, is drawn to strong fighters. The King of Iron Fist tournament is then announced as a plot to lure out the Ogre, and in a shady trade deal, Heihachi obtains a mysterious amulet.
My notes are very
Anime.
simple for this.
Yeah.
Montage fight training evil Jin. Like, that's it. That's all I've got written
The
down.
whole episode's a montage.
It's a
I will
montage.
say, the main what's Heihachi, Jin's
Yeah.
grandfather, just the way the English voice acting was on that was just so
Oh,
slow.
it was weird.
It was so weird. We switched to the Japanese.
Yeah, we actually
even though
switched.
it was originally done in English and it was like Japanese dub. We switched to the Japanese dub. I just couldn't do
Fight.
it anymore.
How
Well-
you do wrong. Like,
Well, that's what I wanted to point out was there's a few characters who have that kind of speech cadence in the show, and it's just really off-putting because it's just like, and you now will learn the way of style. Fight,
But, like,
punch me.
Heihachi's easily the worst offender for this.
Oh, by
Like,
far.
By far.
yeah.
it's
like he's
such a
having a
bizarre dub.
stroke.
It's such a like he's normally he's meant to be quite a stoic and old man. He's been training in this Mishima style karate his entire life. Like his father Jinpachi would just like basically torture him into learning it, and he passed it down to his son Kazuya, who was meant to pass it down to Jin if Kazuya wasn't thrown in a volcano by Heihachi. But it's his whole thing. But he talks so slowly, and he has this weird groan in his voice, and it sounds like a snake hiss. It's really, really weird.
Also,
we switched to the Japanese voice acting and it was so much more
Oh, it's
palatable.
way better.
Oh, it's way better.
Like it's not the
female
original
assistant.
Tekken. Yeah,
the female assistant, why is it that everything she says in English until it gets to yes and she goes, hi. It doesn't make
Anime.
sense.
it's
Anime.
Japanese. Don't worry
Have
about
you-
it.
Have you ever, Alex? Have you never seen anime where like it'll be like fluent Japanese if it's some random English guy will go, "Haha, Burger King, Jesus," and then runs off. That happens constantly.
Have you never watched?
What
Squid
shows are you
Game?
watching?
I watched one recently. We actually saw it recently in what was it Solo Leveling. Literally
I've been
just
meaning to watch
happened
that.
in Solo Leveling. A literal American guy goes, Jesus! Jesus! I was like, what is going on? That's all he's saying.
Oh, it's amazing. Any other thoughts on episode 2? Joey, you've been a little bit quiet.
I watched this about 3 days ago, and I don't fucking remember any of it. It just all blended into one ball of color with an old man with 2 hairstyles on one head. That was what I got from the start of this. When King
that just
started
be-
beating up a literal schoolgirl, that got a laugh out of me. But it was, I don't remember which episode's which at this point.
Can we please put the, like the episode synopsis? Just one old guy with 2 hairstyles on his head.
It's somehow Liberty Spikes and Balding. Oh, right. Episode 3. Not really nothing much happens in episode 3. We meet most of the fighters because they go off to Machu Picchu to... oh, no, it's Peru, sorry. To have this tournament, which, to be fair, in Tekken 3 is where the King of Iron Fist tournament happens. And we meet most of the fighters entering the bracket. And then they talk about the devil gene because Heihachi's like, I'm doing research into the devil gene. I don't have it, but my son did. I wonder where my son got it from. And then he was like, you also have the devil gene. And the only reason Kazuya was a good fighter was because of the devil gene. End episode.
Yeah, it was a character select screen with an expo dump.
Oh, yeah, that's exactly what it was. It was, hey, remember these guys?
Remember the characters?
Is this the one where the person that knew Jin came up to him and went, oh, I should have known you'd be here? And he goes, maybe we'll get that rematch. And I don't remember ever hearing anything about that before.
Right.
Yeah, was that? It was the Predator slap, you son of a bitch. The hand clap.
I noticed in this episode, it felt like the animation was really janky compared to the other ones. I don't know what it was. It looked like, you know, in like South Park where they have different mouth shapes and they just copy and paste them over. From that conversation especially, it was like very, very weirdly put together.
One of the things that you notice in 3D animation is, unless they've gone all out for 3D animation, like you'll see some major fight scenes. Usually that's what they use them for in anime. Solo Leveling lately, you'll notice the big fights with a lot of characters is 3D. It doesn't take away from it because you know it would take a lot to animate that many people at once.
Yeah.
So like Overlord does it as well, and like
Dragon
loads
Ball's
of other
doing
shows
it now.
Yeah, where you have but the whole point of that is it's mass scale from far away. So yeah, you can tell it's 3D, but you don't really care too much because there's stuff going on, and you know it's usually a camera flying through. But when it's just a couple of characters face to face talking, the 3D animation hits like a brick into your face. It's just like, what? This is not human talking. Like, it's AI, isn't it? It doesn't work. Well,
I would say a good 40% of this episode was spent in the car on the way to the arena.
This was two guys talking in a podcast like car, which that's all it was.
And then Nina Williams would chime in and be like, Kazuya's a bit of a dickhead, isn't he? And then they would be like, they just carry on talking about Kazuya for a bit. Kazuya, as I've mentioned, I think, being Jin's father, but he was an evil man, so they don't. So the Heihachi's assistant doesn't want people to know that Jin is related to Kazuya because people will try and make him a target, essentially. Somehow in a fixed bracket, he will become a target.
Right.
Like
there's also, I think it's revealed, too, that there's speculation that Jin's grandpa killed Kazuya.
Correct.
And so there's a little bit of exposition.
Well, technically, the volcano killed.
Well,
Yeah.
Yeah, the gun
gave him a little
not...
nudge.
So that's episode 3. We spend most of it in a car on the way to the arena. I think Alex sent me a text actually about this episode, about one of Paul Phoenix's lines.
Oh,
I
God.
do not remember what.
Why did he look so odd? Like, I know he looks odd already, but something about the hair and the head didn't look right. Like,
well, he's always looked like that since Tekken 1.
I know, but he looked too short almost. Like he was a short boy and he was using the hair for height.
Not in proportion.
It was like, if I do my hair up, I'll get an extra foot.
Alex, your text was
So the line was, Jin goes, "Hey, Phoenix," and then Phoenix turns around and goes, "Please call me Paul." And it's like, no, call yourself Phoenix. Just stick with Phoenix because Paul is not a good name
Phoenix.
for you.
He's great. He's Paul Phoenix.
I know, but it doesn't instill this. It doesn't instill a
Phoenix
sort of
was
this.
my father.
It's like it doesn't instill this feeling of this is this legendary fight because he is. In the
he's
next
the guy who
episode,
almost
we
beat
find
Kazuya.
out. Yeah, and it's like, and here he is, the king of the Iron Fist, Paul.
I once lived with someone at university whose nephew's name was Blade. And everyone was like, yeah, I know, not
Wesley
cool.
Snipes.
No, his name was Blade. He had a brother called Laser, and it took me so long to realise that Blade and Laser are names that they take the piss out of in Dodgeball, but they were genuinely brothers, Blade and Laser, which is one thing, but when you realise their surname, I don't want to say it here because it will be doxing, but I'm going to... okay, beep it. So their names were
That's on a government form somewhere.
But that's what
God.
reminds me of Paul Phoenix, but the other way around.
Yeah.
So just to remember, Paul Phoenix initials are PP.
Big PP energy.
In my head, I was like, "Are you sure they're not PF?" But then I realised I'm an idiot. So,
He's got to be compensating with that hair, though.
Well, not
Yeah.
anymore. In Tekken 8, they redesigned his hair. So now
I
it's all
just saw his
floppy and
redesign.
weird.
I went, why is Ken fighting in Tech? Oh,
Yeah.
just redesigned his hair.
Right, episode 4. Jin meets Leroy Smith, and they encounter each other in an alleyway. Leroy alludes to some sort of troubling history with the Mishima Zaibatsu, which is what Heihachi looks after. Jin and Hwarang have their fight, and Jin begins to willingly use the Devil Gene to beat Hwarang. And then off screen, Paul and Kuma, who is Heihachi's sparring partner and also a bear, have their fight. Paul wins.
So this is something I wanted to bring up here, where this is the episode where they go, "Oh, we've found these extra fighters to join the tournament." Woo! It really feels like it should have been 8 episodes long, and there should have been more tournament.
Well,
Because I saw on the roster, I caught a glimpse of Yoshimitsu,
yeah,
and if it's the Yoshimitsu that's in Soul Calibur,
which it
I
is.
would have loved to have seen that fight.
Yeah, so
Just a
that
little dude bouncing around on a sword.
That Yoshimitsu is the same Yoshimitsu that has been in Tekken since Tekken 2. It's also the same Yoshimitsu as Soul Calibur, and his sword is also called Yoshimitsu.
I'm
Yeah.
sorry, what?
Yeah,
Okay.
same guy.
I'm sorry. What was my constant state for about 3 hours, 2 hours while we watched this?
Yeah.
So
I mean,
this
for a fighting show, there was a lot that happened off screen. I wasn't happy about
Yeah, I mean,
no,
yeah,
I
I'm
would have
sure.
loved to see Kuma.
Have you guys watched Baki?
I've seen some of Baki, yeah.
Yeah.
There's talking in that, but it's good talking, and then there's a lot more fighting.
Well, Baki is more of the anime approach. While they're in the middle of the fight, they'll just have flashbacks and have backstory, and then come back to the fight. And so it's
Like
still
Reckon of
centered around the
Ragnarok,
fight.
just the same. It's the fight is the actual bit people watch,
Yeah.
and the rest of it people kind of tune out. And then
Yeah.
come back and then go, why is that guy fighting that guy? But they told you during the fight. I'm like, I wasn't paying attention to that. Like, I just
Yeah,
wanna see the
this
fight.
one, this show is more just not really paying attention.
Yeah,
No, I
I've
mean-
just got written down. They have a wall break scene, which made me laugh because I was like, that's just like the game.
Yep.
It just reminded me of Street Fighter Alpha, the movie.
Hell yeah.
I was like, but that's a better movie. And I had to ask you, Tim, is the music in this from the game?
Not to my knowledge.
Okay, because I didn't know, because the music was actually not bad. I was like,
Yeah.
that's actually not bad music.
Tekken's
It's
got
like-
a really good history of music, but I don't think this was from Tekken 3 onwards. But as Alex mentioned earlier, they introduced just a bunch of extra fighters in this episode. So in the prior episode, episode 3, they're like, we've got Nina Williams, Jin Kazama, Hwarang, Paul Phoenix, Julie, someone else, Heihachi, and then they're just in the next episode, they're like, we had some people arrive on a late flight. We've got to make room for King and Ling Xiaoyu and Kuma, who's a bear. I don't know who let the bear on the plane.
It bought its ticket.
Sure. But it's a really bizarre. I feel like I know I'm fixating on Kuma, but in terms of the fighters that they added in this episode, Kuma is a fucking bear. Can we focus on that for a second? Because he's Heihachi's sparring partner, and we see nothing of him until this moment, and then he loses his fight off screen.
It almost feels like they had the intent of making a longer series, and then halfway through sort of building it, someone, because I think, was it Sony Pictures was behind this, or am I mixing that up with something else?
No, Sony wasn't behind this one.
Whoever
Bandai
was, it might have been them. It feels like someone came in and went, by the way, guys, you've not got 12 episodes now, you've got 6. Good luck.
Yeah, because this could have carried on from episode 6. They could have
It definitely
carried on.
feels like it was cut in the middle.
I would have loved, personally, and I think this is a really good time to talk about the series structure. The first 4 episodes of this entire season, I think, could have been done in 1 episode.
Yeah.
And then 2 at a push, and then make the rest of the series the bracket.
Way more fun,
sure.
way more fan servicey, way more fighting. Because, like, I know that the point in the fights was to be short, like in the game.
Yeah.
They're short rounds, but Tekken is a fighting game franchise. And for a fighting game franchise, out of 2 hours, I think there was probably about 10 minutes of fighting.
Maybe.
Do you think this could have just been made into a goddamn movie?
Yeah, I think this could have been a movie.
And instead of having all the talking and stuff, it could have just had the first episode with the fight, the grandpa training him in a montage thing, and then during those bits, they could have had the other fights going on. Even if it was like cut into it, it could have had like them fighting. Like a tournament going on, and they could have been talking whilst there was a fight going on in the background.
We talked about it earlier. Look at Baki doing that exact same thing, and it works really well. Yeah,
I mean, Alex,
I don't like you. I don't know what Baki is. You keep
it's
saying
a really good
I imagine
anime.
it's an anime.
It's an animation about fighting, and they use it's basically a fighting anime, like Iron Fist style, where it's 2 people fighting each other. There's another one as well, but on Netflix, I can never remember its name though. And it's basically, I think they even had a crossover with Baki.
Ah, sweet.
Oh, Kengan Ashura?
Yes, and I'm like, so this isn't a new style
of
animation, and it's not a new premise either. I mean, Tekken's old. But
Tekken's very old.
How many games do you say now? 8 Tekken games?
8 mainline Tekken games. There's been a couple of Tekken Tag Tournament games. We've got Tekken Dark Resurrection, Tekken Cross Street Fighter, and also the Cyber Forces. There's the Nina Williams spin-off game.
So all of that lore, and this is the best they could do.
Well, like I said, this is an adaptation of Tekken 3. And
they wanted to follow an angsty teenager.
Yeah, I mean, that's what Tekken 3 is.
His arc.
I want fire on my clothes. You have to earn it. What?
Yeah, that was the line. Yeah, I mean, to its credit, it largely follows Tekken 3's story. Again, there's parts where it really, really varies, like just shoehorning Leroy in there, considering he wasn't around until 4 mainline games later, but that's by the by.
It's like a special introduction character. Remember this guy? It's Leroy. Duh.
Yeah. And then we get to episode 5. Which personally is my favorite episode.
Episode 5 or 6?
No, this is 5. This is the one with the plank jump Hachi does that you made us watch over and over and over again.
It's incredible. This is the one that opens with King beating the shit out of Ling Xiaoyu.
Yes.
So
Joey just thumbs up to the camera. Damn right.
Of the whole thing. I text Tim saying, I'll be down for Tekken Bloodlines. Also, King beating the shit out of a literal schoolgirl is hilarious.
Well, King
in a tree.
King is this giant grappler man. He's huge, and he's there to grab you and bend you into shapes that people shouldn't be bent in. And
he's also part animal, don't forget.
He is part animal. He speaks Jaguar. So
no, okay. I know you're having
but it's a mask, right?
joke times, but I don't understand this anime world. Is he a jaguar or is he a man?
He's a man in a jaguar mask.
That's a mask.
Why does he speak jaguar?
Because his mask makes him speak Jaguar.
It's a magical mask.
No, he just speaks it. He's like Dr. Doolittle, but for one animal.
Tim, there's a animation I need to make you watch about a literal grappler man who wears a dog mask who goes to a fantasy world and starts a wrestling thing.
Well, I need to watch this.
It's. I just realised it's your perfect goddamn anime.
Great.
I'm going to look that up.
Magic hat that makes Frosty the Snowman alive. I found this magical mask that makes me speak Jaguar.
I'm going to quickly whiz through my notes. Feel free to stop me anywhere if you guys want to talk about a particular point. King defeats Zhao Yu, hospitalizing her. King then goes to check in on her. Joey, you're immediately stopping the bus.
Fucking hilarious.
Yeah, best part of the series.
That's all I have. Yeah, that was the only bit of the series I think I enjoyed.
We then get King versus Paul. It's revealed that the king that is in this tournament was not the king that was in previous tournaments. The king that was in previous tournaments was killed by Ogre because he was a strong fighter. Now, in terms of Tekken lore, this king, the one that we see in this tournament, goes on to become Armor King in later games, and we get another king coming in. Who's
they
just
share
another...
masks?
They share masks.
Oh, so it's like a mantle. So this is like Batman. All right.
Kind of, yeah. Joey, you have a question.
Batman.
What the fuck are you on about?
It's Tekken lore.
It's basically, think of it like Godzilla. Like, there's Godzilla, but there's Mecha Godzilla.
I am line 2 into my notes for episode 5.
So sorry. When they said King is dead, the original, I thought that the god that killed the mum at the start had killed King and then taken over his form to be the ultimate bastard to kill Jin in the tournament. That's what I thought was going on.
That's what I thought.
No, it's just another guy.
You guys forget. They have to keep the big bad to the end. The bigger bad's at the end.
I thought when he defeated him as king, he would go, "Oh, I'm far better fighter in my own form," and then that. But
And then goes, blah, 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 blah.
but the point that King died, and this is a new king, is completely irrelevant because it's still King.
It's
so
King.
all of that nonsense around the original king is dead, you're not fighting the original king, but actually your fight is against King, is fucking wasted time.
It reminds me of that film. It's like the brother comes in, his twin brother, and it's exactly the same actor, and it's like, "Hi, please just call me my old dead brother's name. I already know all about you guys. He told me so much about you. Just call me his name."
Exactly. You're talking about Beer Fest right now.
Beer Fest.
There's a really funny clip from Tekken 5 or 6, and it's Armor King looking at a photograph of one of his tournament victories, just not the King of Iron Fist tournament, just one of the general tournament victories. And he takes the photo out the frame and he's like, "Oh my god, this photo's folded over," and he unfolds it and there's another king behind him.
Jesus.
It's like the character select screen when you can choose the different costumes.
It's really funny.
Red King or Blue King?
The original king was killed by Ogre. Heihachi advises Jin that the only reason that Kazuya defeated Paul in the second tournament was because Kazuya had the devil gene. I've written here just a little bit of, production notes. Paul's voice actor for this series is also his voice actor for the Tekken series. That was kind of cool. And then I've written, found it really cool the animators used actual moves from the game. So we've seen things like Flash Punch combos, Electric Wind Godfish, Giant Swing, Muscle Buster, Skyrocket, Mantis Stances, Nina's Neck Breaker, the first 2 chain grabs and Rolling Death Cradle. And they even used the appropriate throw break when stuff was not successful. Joey, you have another question.
Not a question, a comment. The bit where King, I think it was back at my favourite bit where he was beating up a literal schoolgirl, had her grabbed by the ankles and was literally spinning her in circles till she passed out.
That's Giant Swing. Oh, we love Giant Swing.
Hilarious. But also, there's a WWE wrestler that does that, and I think it's equally as funny then.
Yeah. Well, that Giant Swing is one of King's best moves, so it's great to see it in the series.
There you go.
So when I saw King fighting, I was like, Tim is just losing his mind over this. This is why we're watching this show. He saw this online and went, "I want to watch King beat up someone."
Yeah, why not? It's funny. I've then got King defeats Paul. Julie, who was in a fighter that was introduced in episode 3 and then forgotten about entirely for episode 4, confronts Heihachi and says, "You stole my amulet after my mother hid it at the bottom of a lake. We never see Julie again." And Jin lets it slip while stepping in this Julie Heihachi confrontation that the guy that essentially he is Heihachi's grandfather, and then she makes the connection that ergo he must be Kazuya's son. Julie then tells Jin that Heihachi released Ogre into the world to essentially just fight him, essentially, because Heihachi wants to be the strongest man. We're now in the tournament final in episode 5. It's King versus Jin. Julie tells Jin that King was an orphan who was taken in by the original King in his Mexican orphanage full of Japanese children. In effect, they have both lost a parent to Ogre. Jin wins the tournament. He gives the prize money to King to build an orphanage in the original King's honor. Jin must now defeat one final opponent, Heihachi. This is for the title of King of Iron Fist. Jin defeats Heihachi, and the amulet activates, summoning Ogre.
I have another question.
Yeah.
When we were in the hospital, why was
Yeah.
King sneaking round the fucking halls, and then when they saw him, he ran away? I didn't get it.
He's a big creep, but he also cares for. He's not a bad guy. He's making sure she's all right.
Oh, okay.
That's
You
it.
wanted round two.
Yeah.
Round 2, hospital boogaloo.
You know those fights in the back scenes of WWE where it's in like the parking lot? This is one of them.
He's got a folding chair behind him.
Yeah.
My reverse tombstone didn't kill you the first time. I'm going to do it again.
Yeah. But this was my favorite episode purely just as like lol King stuff for about 30 minutes.
That
Yeah,
bit
there's
at the
a
end
lot of King.
where Heihachi, whatever he's called, just decided to add an extra fight at the end because he was
Yeah.
being a dick. That's not how tournaments work.
Right, can we just remember? I can't remember if it was this or the next one, but I'm pretty sure a gun is used.
It's in the next episode. But in later games, people do use weapons. Like Yoshimitsu's got his sword, Nina Williams has her guns. There's a
So we went
robot
through-
called Gunjack who's just built by the Russians. He's just a big robot.
What's the tournament called again?
The King of Iron Fist tournament.
Iron Fist means gun.
Iron Fist can mean a pistol whipping if you look at it right.
It's like, haha, I see you've studied your karate. I studied my M16.
Oh, right. Any more
I nearly
thoughts?
made a joke, but it would have had to be cut out then.
Make it.
Make it. I'll edit out.
It's just-
Oh, for fuck's sake.
see?
No. Oh my god.
We're not doing that one. Oh, right. Any last thoughts on episode
Alex is
5?
losing it.
American style.
American style karate.
I'll see myself out.
It's just, do you know that guy who's like doing the cup dance with a gun and he loads him and shoots it?
No, like episode 5 was my favorite, and I feel like it had the most budget put into it. I feel like they put a lot of time into King, personally.
I
Whoa.
think they made
Oh yeah.
episode 5 first.
Hold
We
on.
did.
Hold
This
on.
is the pilot.
The episode with the most fighting in an anime about fighting is the best one.
Yeah.
Colour me surprised.
I mean, episode 6 was also pretty good as far as this anime goes.
I
But
have thoughts.
five was, it's not great, but as far as this anime goes, it's not bad. Any more thoughts on episode 5? No?
Nearly there,
No.
guys.
Cool.
No,
I've just put evil grandpa lol.
Yeah.
This is the
Well,
notes.
if you think Heihachi's evil, you should see his dad, Jinpachi. In fact, let me quickly get a photo of Jinpachi, because if you guys have been laughing at hairstyles and costumes for Tekken, you guys are going to lose your mind at Jinpachi.
It's a good thing that Tim's editing this episode because he's making a lot of editing for himself.
Do I so you know how old is Tekken? Was like, what was the first console it was out on?
PS1 arcades.
What is this?
Is that why the hairstyles were like that? Because they needed the bits.
Yeah,
Are those
it's
his
a polygon.
sideburns?
Those are his sideburns.
It looks like a Monster Hunter character.
It's the same It's the same hairstyle, just a foot lower.
Yeah, it's Heihachi's dad.
I'm just imagining King grabbing him by the sideburns and spinning around.
Spinning him around. Giant swing from the face. Cool. Episode 6. Devil Jin is teased as a character for the first time in the episode intro. Every time they have an episode intro, it's one of the characters, seemingly who the main focus of the episode is going to be. They're kind of stood in a silhouetted form being like, what limits your fighting ability? And there's a pair of eyes in the background.
It's like,
Oh,
he
is that
stares
what
at you
that
from
was?
beyond the darkness. And it's like, what
Yeah.
the fuck? Get rid of that. It's so stupid.
It's
I
really-
didn't understand it at all.
No,
Yeah, Sky
I've
kept
been playing
mentioning
Tekken-
it.
I've been playing
What is
Tekken
this?
for
What
a
is
long
happening?
time.
Did
I've
you
been playing
know?
Tekken for a while and I didn't get this.
I've got a good fact for you about this. Netflix, when they do intros like this, have a button that says skip intro. So I didn't see that once.
I thought it was part of the episode.
No, it's
So
pre-credits.
I was just like, what? But then, because like sometimes in anime they do pre and after credit things. Like that's just a thing. So I was like, oh, maybe this is part of it. I thought like if you added them all together, it made like a full coherent story. It don't. It's fucking confusing as shit.
But
it's like Willow Smith's poetry or some shit. Like, what is this crap?
So we see Devil Jin for the first time in this intro. We're now post credits after that weird little tidbit that they didn't really need to put in. Jin charges at Ogre. After the battle that Jin is likely to lose, he remembers his teaching and defeats Ogre, killing him. Heihachi then tells Jin tells Heihachi that he no longer wants anything to do with him. Ogre then comes back to life, but in a brand new form called True Ogre, which, to be fair, is accurate to Tekken 3.
It's his final form.
Yeah, it's final form. He's even stronger now, and he can fly. Paul, Ling Xiaoyu, and Huarang step in to help. Seeing his friends hurt, Jin taps into the power of the Devil Gene and uses a technique called Stonehead, which is a Mishima technique, to defeat True Ogre. Heihachi then pulls out a fucking Glock and shoots Jin there. He does that to stop the Devil Gene from progressing further. In his dying moments, Jin is on the Tekken 7 stage, Infinite Azure, speaking with his dead mother and reflecting on his life. Jin then lets his anger take control. He becomes Devil Jin and starts just beating the shit out of Heihachi. Jin then flies away over the horizon, but not before destroying a mountain of Peru. Ling Xiaoyu picks up the amulet, seemingly setting up into another season. We don't know if this is happening at the time of recording or not. I'm assuming not, considering this didn't review very well. The end.
Surprise.
I'm guessing the mountain he destroys becomes the volcano they keep throwing people in.
No, it's different per country. It's really dumb.
Was there like a shape of somebody's face in the side of the mountain?
It was Heihachi's face. No, there was a face in the mountain. I'm sure it was Heihachi's face.
Why would Devil Jin carve Heihachi's face into a mountain?
Because he's pissed off at Heihachi for shooting him.
Also, so you're going to Mount
where did he get
Rushmore
the gun from? This gun was just on him. Like,
Walmart.
Where was it?
Walmart.
We now deliver.
Peru.
They do, actually.
Oh, no, don't tell me that.
So Ogre's final form, predictable as hell coming.
True Ogre,
coming, right? Yeah, we also...
That's
cool design,
Tekken 3
though.
final boss. Yeah, it's a cool design. He's got like a snake arm. He's like something from Sekiro.
The gun being pulled, complete blindside. Never saw that coming. I was like, what the fuck? You can't bring a gun to a fist fight. It's not allowed.
You can.
You never seen Indiana Jones?
I think as soon as I saw Jin, I knew the Devil Jin was going to be how they ended this show.
Yeah, that's how Tekken 3 ends. Like
I've never played that.
But they stuck to the ending of Tekken 3 very well.
It was so unsatisfying, the ending, I swear.
It's completely blue balls.
He just flies off into the sunset, like, okay, you've transformed. You've tried to get revenge for your dead mom. But now you're just even more edgy and just
all they needed was Linkin Park playing, and it could have been a Michael Bay ending.
What I've done playing over the end as he flies away.
Yeah, he flies away.
Perfect.
And a slow zoom
and then just
out,
Optimus Prime talking over
it. And like a slow, like drone shot going upwards of Heihachi's like beaten body.
That would have been a better ending.
Oh, it would be great. But that's about Tekken Bloodlines. That's the whole plot in a nutshell.
So what we played was just the Tekken 3 storyline.
Again, for the most part, yeah. Like the gun doesn't happen in Tekken 3. Leroy Smith isn't in Tekken 3.
Why Tekken 3?
Tekken 3 is the most popular of the series in terms of like fan reception. It's widely regarded as the best in the series. And
now they're on 8.
They are on 8.
And it's still considered the best in the series.
Tekken 3 is peak Tekken. Like I'm a big Tekken guy. I really like it. It's like some of the coolest fighting game stuff out there.
Why don't they
anime kind of sucks.
Why do they keep making them though?
Yeah.
Like if Tekken 3 was the pinnacle, just redo that.
The Tekken set, like each Tekken has its own problems. I think Tekken 3 is just limited by its like nature, but like the stuff that it introduced to the series, like before Tekken 3, there was no sidestepping, for example. It was a 2D fighter. And
crap.
Yeah, I know. Like so, like Tekken 3 was the real step forward for this. Is where Tekken became Tekken, and ever since
step forward.
Yeah, it's a real side step forward.
One step forward, take one step to the side.
But no, like,
I have a watch list on Netflix, and I want to tell you a couple of things that are now on there that I could have watched instead of watching this
in the same time, or
in less time. Actually, only one of them is longer, and I'll tell you that one as well. So I could have watched almost a whole season of Arrested Development. Mm-hmm. I could have watched a film called Chef, which I was looking forward to watching. I could have watched Cocaine Bear,
which
if I really wanted to go crazy.
Actually, sparring partner.
It's Kuma.
Exactly. I could have watched Paddington 2, which actually is another film about a bear. Glass Onion is less than this. The Green Mile is a little bit more, but it's worth it. So that's my short list of things you should watch instead of Tekken.
Oh. Alex has just sent a photo of the mountain. I don't think that's Heihachi. I think that's supposed to be Kazuya.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. By the way, looking at the credits of this anime, I was like, oh, I recognize some of these voice actors. Like, obviously, I recognize Paul, for example, from being the voice actor since Tekken 4, I think. Kazuya's voice actor is just credited as Elliot. No last name, just Elliot.
Some guy that was like cleaning the restrooms.
Delivery guy. Do you want to be in a film? Sure.
Like the director's son or something.
Just Elliot.
Oh, WWE's on Raw now, and an episode of Raw is the same length as this whole series and much more fun. And more fighting. Much more fighting.
So speaking of different shows than this one, Pete and I watched Solo Leveling right before this, and we were sorely disappointed.
Yeah. Let's just say Solo Leveling is probably the peak anime right now. And I'm sure some people would disagree, but for us, I'm loving every episode. And then you made us watch this, and you really took me off that peak. You were like, I'm going to bring you down to my level. I was like, when we watched this, I wasn't bored. It wasn't like I was like paying attention. It kept my attention, which is very rare.
But I know what an animation budget looks like, and then I watched this.
If I can guess what's going to happen in a show, or including the dialogue, it's not a great anime because I'm a dumb person. If I can guess what's going to happen, I know, it's not very well written. I was a little worried it was written by AI.
Well, I think what this show is if someone is interested in Tekken lore but can't be bothered to go back and play the previous games, it's granted a kind of skewed iteration of Tekken's first real foray into a story outside of LoL, the Iron Fist tournament, Kazuya and Heihachi are in volcanoes. I have a big problem with the sentence that you just said. If someone is interested in Tekken lore but can't be bothered to play the games, they're not interested in Tekken lore. They are not.
Also, wasn't this the most popular Tekken?
Yeah, Tekken 3, yes.
I would argue that somebody would be better off watching a YouTube compilation of cutscenes from the game than to watch the show.
Absolutely.
Or just play the goddamn game.
There's always that.
It would have taken less time.
But this show is riddled with like I say, big Tekken fan. So I'm 100% going to have a bias here. I'm going to try and put it aside though. This show is full of dialogue issues, horrific animation budgets, weird animation shortcuts, and if you recognize character animations from the Tekken games, you are going to recognize a lot of stuff in this series, and that's really cool for the Tekken fans. But I don't think this show is for the Tekken fans because it does so much away from the series. The Paul and Kuma fight is one of the most famous fights in the series, and we don't see anything of it. And they're getting parts of the story. They're just adding stuff to the story and changing bits of the story.
Have you guys ever seen the Street Fighter films?
Yes.
Like Alpha and I forget what the other one's called, but they're like
Mega.
They're made with just drawing animation. It's before like 3D animation,
hand drawn, yeah.
And it's really good. The characters make sense. They're like the fight scenes are really good. Like there's one scene with Vega versus Chun-Li in an apartment.
Yeah.
It's sometimes the American. I remember the American dialogue, like Guile's in a relationship with fucking Chun-Li or something. It was a bit weird, but that fight scene is insane. And I was like, just that 1 5-minute fight scene probably had more fighting than this entire show.
Yeah. Like outside of the montage and the King with Zhao Yu fight, those are the 2 biggest fights, and they're like not even finals.
Also, we forgot the angstiest bit when he crushes the lamp to look like the other lamp. And he's like, yeah, they look the same.
They match.
Yeah, well, let's get back to episode 2. So when Heihachi was training Jin, he's like, my grandfather contacted a Japanese stonemason who was the best stonemason, and he had him made these 2 lamps. My grandfather then destroyed a lamp to be like, we have the power to create and destroy. But one of them was still left standing, and then it's really obvious that Jin is going to eventually destroy it. And as he's leaving after beating Heihachi in finally in training after tapping into the devil gene, he goes, "Oh, hang on, I forgot to do something," in a husky voice, and then he just backhands a statue, this lamp, and he goes, "There, I fixed it," and he walks off.
The funniest thing for me is obviously Jinhachi. Is it Jinhachi? Is that how you say that stupid name?
Who you were
Granddad? Granddad's dad.
Yeah, Jinpachi.
So Jinpachi is like, these statues represent our ability to create and destroy, which would be fine if he had made the statues.
He just hired someone.
He hired someone. So it's like we have the money.
A job.
What he's saying there is we have the power to buy our way out of problems or break shit.
Have you seen the building that Heihachi works in? The Mishima Zaibatsu is way, it's like a megalomaniac corporation. Skylar's just posted the off the ground launch that Heihachi does, where
he punched the ground so hard that he could just hip thrust into the air. Like what happened?
I mean, that's not the first time he's done that in the series. Granted, he doesn't do that in gameplay, but he's done that in series before, so it's kind of a reference.
It was so jarring. We paused it and we round a few times. Go, no, he did that. That's happened.
Did he punch the ground, or how did he lift off of the ground here? I tried to. I don't
up. That's all you need.
What's it? The flames on his leg.
Yeah, on Jin's leg.
He earned them.
But he doesn't. He kicks, but he also punches. But his hands haven't got flames on them.
Well,
his right leg isn't. His right leg isn't the main kicking leg either. Why is he not just covered in flame? Why is it one leg specifically? He's like, I
it's
just
to remember how
flames.
his mom died
with a fire.
He should die to the ogre. Shouldn't that be an ogre on him?
Well, no, she ignited the propane tank inside their house, and that's how she exploded. Yeah,
this is how we get the King of the Hill crossover.
There's a lot. God damn it, Bobby!
Listen here, Jim. Your problem is.
It's like the final boss is him just coming out with a propane can.
Do I look like I know what an ogre is?
Pocket sand. There's a lot of anime on Netflix now, like with fighting. So you got Baki, the one I can never remember, which Skylar remembers.
Ingen Ashura.
Yeah.
Sakamoto Days has just been put out, which is like a fighting spy animation. Everyone's loving it.
Yeah.
Also, Hajime no Ippo, which is a boxing anime, which is a literal. They try and like use boxing techniques, but also with a little bit of flair. Is multiple series long, with loads of talking, but it's so much better than this.
Yeah.
So much better.
It's really sad because Tekken's got this huge legacy. And this is kind of what they just dumped onto Netflix one day.
Does this make you sad knowing that Street Fighter and games like Arcanine, like that new series that came out?
Oh, yeah.
Have better shows than...
In a way.
Than Tekken. Like, Tekken has a massive budget. I'm
And a
surprised.
massive following.
Did Tekken
Yes.
even get involved with this?
Yeah, Bandai. I mean, the Tekken, the guys behind the development team behind Tekken, I'm assuming advised and supervised on some animations like King's grapples, for example, or the flash combos from Jin, or the Mishima Zaibatsu style from Heihachi. But I don't think they got involved with much else.
I'm just surprised they'd let it be made.
I mean,
No,
next thing.
maybe Alex is right. Maybe they were like, "Nah, you're not having 12. You're having
Yeah.
6 episodes. Get it done. Get it
There
out."
probably is a budget constraint thing for that. Like they've cut the thing in half, and it's quite clear that a lot of the time the budget was strained.
Bad.
I think Joe is right though. More fighting probably would have just made this a lot more enjoyable.
Yeah, I mean, I would like to see not necessarily another series of Bloodline, but I would like to see a Tekken, like maybe take on the story of Tekken 6, for example, where Jin starts World War 3 and
What the? Of course he does.
he takes over the Mishima Zaibatsu and to lure out Kazuya, who is now running G-Force. He starts World War 3, and then they have the King of Iron Fist tournament for that.
I'm getting Mortal Kombat vibes.
But if I would like to see I don't know, a more expanded set of fights, maybe some backing for what these fighters are actually fighting for, because Ling Xiaoyu is just there effectively to support Jin, but she's also entering the tournament. Hwarang is just Jin's rival, but I don't think he's anywhere near on the same class as anyone else in this tournament. Kuma is non-existent.
It's
King
just generically
and Jin,
referenced that they're just there fighting for their own reason. But then it's like 5 fights in that we realize that there's actually like a money pot.
yeah.
They didn't really show any fights at all, did they? Between any
They
of
showed
these people.
some. They showed like Zhao Yu and King. They showed, of course. Jin and Hwarang they showed.
Like they could have easily had
Sure.
just small cutscenes of them fighting.
Yeah.
And like I said, win or loser kind of thing. Like sometimes they have in anime where they want to cut it down so they don't show every fight, but they show the leaderboard. And it's like win, loss, win, loss, win, loss. And they show like fighting almost over the top in like a ghost frame. They didn't even do that. They were just like, it happened.
To touch on Skylar's point, in these Tekken tournaments, in the King of Iron Fist tournaments, the title is not only just a pile of money, but it's also control of the Mishima Zaibatsu, which is Heihachi's company. So whoever wins the tournament is the CEO, effectively.
Well, that was
a good
never
job
mentioned in the
application
anime.
process.
So
This-
wait, you're telling me a bear could have won the CEO position of
Yes.
this goddamn company?
Correct.
In a little suit and tie, just there's no more salmon.
I mean, you laugh, but in Tekken 8, he does use fish as a weapon at one point.
Oh, for God's sake! Of course he does.
All right, should we wrap up our thoughts? Because we've been going on about Tekken Bloodline for a while.
Save yourself. Watch Cocaine Bear.
Yeah.
Just don't watch it. It's so bad.
5 out of 10. Watch it if you like Tekken, and only if you like Tekken 3, and only if you want to see some middling animation.
It was
Sure.
okay.
I
It's
googled Tekken Bloodline while we were doing this, and Reddit just seems to be obsessed with triangular shadows, which I didn't quite understand.
Yeah, so there's a really weird thing in the animation of this whole show where if there's a shadow on someone's face, which 9 times out of 10 there is, it's always triangles. And it always cuts the face perfectly down the middle.
Is that because the way that 3D animation is triangles? That's what it is.
Well, it's in,
What they probably haven't done is they haven't adjusted the polygons, the triangles, into a fluid shape. So it's just done one solid one as one giant one, and they haven't flattened it.
I think it's
No,
just there
it's-
to mimic Kazuya's hair.
It's
Just the hair. It's a shadow always on them.
it's literally just so bad. I'd never thought about it.
It's a like
Oh my
The
God,
shadows
it is
are
more-
so bad.
It's just triangles.
It's just a triangle. And everyone has this. If you look up
Oh my
Tekken
God.
Bloodline shadow triangles, it's everyone.
It's literally everyone. Also, I love the fact both grunt is the subtitles there.
Yeah. Yep, there's all the triangles going back as far as Jun Kazama in episode 1.
So did they you think they were like animating it and they were editing it and they were starting putting it up and went, shit, we forgot shadows.
Yeah.
Just went over Microsoft Paint.
Triangles.
It's a really bizarre art direction they went with. Like, Skylar's just posted another one there where Heihachi is surrounded by lightning. Kazuya's getting ready to go into like kind of a warrior spirit or Omen Thunder Godfist stance. And he's surrounded by lightning and he is covered in triangle. He's a one big triangle, sorry.
That is...
Jin is
so
in a
bad.
day-lit forest and he is covered in triangle.
I mean, what's weird is they've done highlights in the hair, but just one giant triangle.
Everyone is covered in their own triangle.
Just one single spotlight behind them. A triangle.
Even Devil Jin's got a triangle.
It's so bizarre.
Tekken Bloodlines, shadow triangle.
And I saw that exact thread, Joey, that you're on about, talking about the shadow triangles. I went back and looked at some frames. I was like, it's impossible to not see.
Oh
like,
my God.
This entire thread in this discussion that we're in now on Discord, we're sharing messages with each other, is just triangle shadows on every frame.
Even the arm is an inverted triangle.
Yep.
Jeez.
Oh, that was an inverse triangle.
I feel like this has really bothered you.
I can't not see it now. Oh my god, you've ruined it.
Had I seen this before,
I watched it, I
ruined it.
This is literally like the glass breaking moment where you will always see this from now on. Like, it's done. You've ruined. I didn't know you could ruin the show, but well done.
You've done it.
You've done
even
it.
worse.
You've
now.
made it worse.
Pete, do you want to revise your 5 out of 10?
Yeah, well, it's a 5 out of 10 for base like fighting and like story. It's a fucking 0 out of 10 for shadow placement. Jesus.
Look at that. It's literally on the thumbnail for the official trailer.
It's like every single shot there was a cube in front of the sun.
Anyone who animates or draws, anyone who tries to do like shadowing,
Please look
needs
at this.
to watch this show and just shit on
Do
it
the
on
opposite.
Reddit.
Just do the opposite.
Just shit on this. I've tried drawing, like I've tried shadowing, and shadows are hard to figure out, especially if you don't have like a 3D brain like I don't. But fucking hell, even I know that his nose wouldn't be in shadow then.
Oh, all right.
Why is King's... Again, look at King's eyes there in that picture, though.
Yeah.
Clearly not a mask.
This is where the budget went on shadow triangles.
What is this one?
Like, there's one here, and it's... I actually can't tell who that's supposed to be in the flash frame. It's sure as shit not Jin Kazama. But even in the lightning bright aspect shots, it's all triangle.
Did you think... Oh, I've just found the best one. Hold on. Did you think, Tim, that we'd spend the last 10 minutes of this episode talking about triangles?
No. Oh my god.
Paul's hair.
Oh my god. We'll put some of these in the Discord when this episode comes out because they are hilarious.
That one of Paul is particularly egregious because you can see in the background that he is surrounded by floodlights. There should be no shadow on him anywhere.
Well, his feet should have a triangle at least.
Oh, it's amazing. All right. So we've landed on triangles and a 0 out of 10 storyline from Pete. Joey, final thoughts?
I give it a 3 out of 10, 1 for each side of a triangle.
Why is
Beautiful.
his arm not lit up, but his back of his head is? What is this?
That one that I've just put there is a light source in front of him, and there is still a triangle over the front of his body.
Maybe it's not shadows. Maybe that's just how they're coloured. Like maybe
No,
this
they're
is
just brooding. They're just brooding so hard.
Oh, Joey, you've said you're 3 out of 10. Skylar?
I'll give it a triangle out of 10.
Sure. Yeah. Alex?
It's. I give it the same points as the game it's based on. If you want to learn about Tekken lore, just go play the fucking games. Don't waste your time on this.
What would you give it out of 10? 3?
Yeah, because it's based on Tekken 3.
So I personally would give this probably a 4 out of 10, just to be like, the animation is bad, the dialogue is bad, the plot is a weird bizarro world version of Tekken 3, but the fighting animation's got some I understood that reference moments. If you're interested in Tekken lore, do not watch this. Go and watch. There's a video by Clement J64 called The Insane Lore of Tekken 2022, because it's not updated for Tekken 8. It is nearly 2 hours long. So it is longer. No, it's shorter than this, actually. And we'll catch you up entirely from Tekken 1 right the way through Tekken 7.
Yeah, there you go.
Good. All right, well, that's Tekken. Oh, sorry, Alex is making his own triangle now on screen. All right, well, I think that'll just about do it from Video Game Movie Club. Like I say, I've been Tim at Wembembo and everything. I've been joined by Joey.
Le Triangle.
I've been joined by Alex.
Le Triangle.
I've been joined by Pete.
Le Triangle.
And I've been joined by Skylar.
Triangle.
And we'll see everyone next week, I think, for our episode on Tekken 8.
Make sure you check out BAP.
Check out BAP.
Please check the shadows in Tekken 8 and tell me if it's triangles.
No, they're good. These are good shadows. All right, well, thanks for joining us, everyone. See you next week.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Joey got the popcorn ready. Alex got the notes in hand. Tim's got puns that fly like confetti. They're your go-to movie band.